Hello, welcome to Plum Fusion block number 6. Yay! We are going to start off with some half square triangles. So you have got large 6-inch squares. You have fabric 1, fabric 9, and I'm going to sneak this in, fabric 10. You're going to make half square triangles with them. So you're going to mark your diagonal, sew on either side. You're going to cut in the middle and get 2 of the green and white and 2 of the purple and white. Okay, from here you're going to take these and you're going to cut them in half. So when you cut these in half, I do have a ruler here somewhere. It went missing. Exciting.
Right here, Mom.
Oh, up top. We are not in our usual space because there's a class in there right now. So, woo, that's why you see the different green mat. Anyway, and I'm putting things in weird places. So when we cut these apart, we are going to switch. So we have 2 hourglasses. Okay. Once we sew these together, you're going to use your square on square trim tool. That's your center. You line that up and you line up on the diagonals. Now, one of the things that happens when you sew these triangles together, because there's a lot of bias, sometimes your edges get wavy and the corners don't match up. You don't have to worry too much about that because we are cutting them off. So the waviness usually happens at the very edges. And since we're trimming these down, right, because we're not trimming until this point, a lot of that waviness, weirdness gets cut off. So these lie really flat and really even on the corners. Okay, so you will be making 4 of these. I'm going to put that on the side and then move on to our next step, 4. Okay, next we have a fun little piece that goes in the corner. I'm going to try and set this up so you can see it. You need to arrange this exactly how, there you go, it's shown in your pattern. Okay, so you have 2.5-inch squares of fabric 2, fabric 9, and then you have a 4.5 by 2.5 of fabric 5. You're going to sew these together first and then sew to your big piece. Please note, this is different than this. Okay, your upper left, that should be your upper left, should be the light, and all of your pieces should be identical. Okay, and you're going to be making 4 of those. The last part is the center, and we've also done this before. You're going to fussy cut a 3 3/8 inch square. Now, for those of you who've not done this before with the square on square trim tool, I'm going to show you kind of a neat little thing that you can do. If you notice, I have Scotch tape, I love Scotch tape, on the corner of my ruler. This goes straight through the diagonal. So it comes from the tip of my ruler to this point, which is the middle of the ruler here. You can see that on my 4.5 by 4.5. And this line connects this white line here. When I use this as the center, that's the center of a 3 3/8 inch square. So I'm going to find a rose that I want. I like to find one kind of close to the edge because I don't want to waste too much, although there's a lot of fabric, you don't have to worry about it at all. I'm going to put that in the center of the rose that I want, with a little bit of room all the way around. So if that's the center, I'm going to cut that piece there. And then from here, if I've marked the center and I can find my 3 3/8 again, I'll do that. Otherwise, I will pick up my other ruler and find that 3 3/8. 1, 2, 3 3/8 by 1, 2, 3 3/8. And I cut the other side, and that way my rose is centered. Okay? Tape, tape. That's going to be my first cut using this. That's the center of my rose. And then when I trim the opposite side, and I use my 3 3/8 mark, zoop, zoop, that center of the rose is the center of my 3 3/8 square. Okay. So you're going to take that rose, wherever it went, and we are going to do a square in a square. These were originally 3 1/2 inch triangles that we've cut into, squares that we've cut in half. We're going to mark our centers. We're going to fold this in half. I lay that right there so that fold is on the center, and I open it up. And I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Sew that down, line that up on the center, sew that down. After I open those up, I'm going to do the same thing on the other sides, folding and marking the center and dropping the other 2 triangles so we get our square in a square. Again, if we have our trim tool here, what I love about this trim tool is it lets you know what your seams are doing, because the black line on the horizontal and the vertical should fall right in the corners, and you should have room between that point and the edge of the ruler, which is your 1/4 inch seam allowance. Okay, so you're trimming this square in a square to 4 1/2 by 4 1/2. Again, marking where your corners are and where your seam allowance is. Okay, so we've got your center. We are going to put your hourglass blocks. Mysterious plurals. Okay, with fabric number 10, which is really cool because it makes the illusion that you've done a square in a square in a square. And then you're going to put these into the corner with the light fabric number 2 out, so these make a pinwheel. Okay. So again, if you had switched these, you're not going to get the same effect. And that is block number 6. We will see you guys next month. Thank you for hanging out with us. Bye.